Test. So today I'm going to do a review on the original Tekken game for PlayStation 1. So at the start, as you can see, the CGI sequences include some of the pretty well known Tekken characters such as Nina, Paul, Yoshimitsu, Law, etc., etc. In fact, even some of the more obscure Tekken characters were still included in this game. So the CGI is nowhere near as good as probably any other CGI in the Tekken series. In fact, if we remember Tekken 3 on the PlayStation 1, it was towards the latter end of the PlayStation 1, and the most impressive thing that I think was being said in official PlayStation magazine at the time, that it had a brilliant intro CGI with, Jin and also the sidestep is not on this game. If you press up or down, your character won't move on the Z axis towards or away from the screen. So as I said, I was pleasantly surprised to find how many of the later Tekken characters and their moves have more or less stayed the same in this game. Of course this game came first, but it's interesting. I mean, there's certain throws like that one where Paul jumps up and grabs an arm and then flips you over the head. I didn't realize that was in the very first Tekken game. I imagine they probably developed a new one for Tekken Tag on the PlayStation 2, but the PlayStation 1 Tekken games do have a similar feel. The only thing is that they kind of improved it with each game, because Tekken 2 was a very good game, and then Tekken 3, I don't know, it depends on your taste. I think most Tekken fans either pick out 3 or 2 if you're talking about the original PlayStation.
You win.
Probably, like, if you look at good points, aside from those I've already mentioned, the locations are interesting. They actually use some real locations. You can fight with St. Mark's Square in Venice in the background, and there's like interesting ones like fighting on an iceberg out in the middle of nowhere. There's half a dozen interesting locations. There's not as many characters. This was the first game, and it was still obviously widely critically received as being a very good game, and it's actually aged comparatively well.
You win.
So yeah, it's a neat little game. Could be fun, especially if you want to play through the Tekken series. Yeah, you could start here. It's difficult to beat. I mean, this is one of the things I need to mention, is it's a tricky game. It really doesn't give you too many freebies in arcade mode, as you obviously, just like other Tekken games to begin with, you'll win fights easily, but then the AI just gets progressively harder. I found Heihachi and Yoshimitsu often difficult to face in this game. They might be a tad overpowered in this compared to the others, but the launch of the Tekken series, and if you want to have a look again at the series, I would recommend starting with this one. So one last thing is that I felt like the buttons, as I pressed the buttons, the movement wasn't as sharp either. So say you press a kick, there's just that little few milliseconds more than in more modern versions of Tekken, which can make the game very frustrating at times. Often the way that the AI will attack your character will go down. Of course, you have to either counter with a kick or spring up in their face, or roll backwards. Generally, I try and roll backwards to get back to my feet. In most Tekken games, this is easy, and this one, it doesn't really work. Your character takes quite a while to respond for some reason. I guess that's to simulate them being dazed. But yeah, you can pretty much like be bashed out of a round just by being on your back on the floor, which kind of sucks. But yeah, overall, brilliant game. You know, here's the big Namco beat 'em up for PlayStation 1. You know, and well, it's a very good game, I think. By today's standards, I give it a 7. If we're talking the launch of the console, I would say maybe 8 or 9, 8.5. But today, I would say a 7. But definitely one to check out if you're a Tekken fan, just to have the nostalgia, etc., and to find out about obviously the storyline. So yeah, that's it for now, and I might try some of the other Tekken games as well, but that's it for now, guys, so see you later. Ta-ra.